Hello everyone, welcome to E4 Cloud Solution videos. I am Hebel. On this video, we'll be looking at the configuration of OpenVPN hosted in an AWS environment. I'll be testing connectivity against an RDS instance that is launched in a private subnet. If you're ready like I am, let's set the ball rolling. By the end of this video, you will understand how to quickly set up an OpenVPN on AWS. You will learn how to configure a secure connection to private AWS resources via OpenVPN tunnel. And you'll be able to test RDS PostgreSQL database connectivity using pgadmin over the VPN. And lastly, you'll gain insight into AWS network fundamentals, including private, public subnets, security groups, routing, and a lot of good stuff. For this demo, you will need to have admin access to AWS. You will need to install OpenVPN client on your computer, and you will also need to download and install pgadmin for the RDS PostgreSQL database connectivity. And this I'll be providing in the video link. So the first thing we want to do is to launch the OpenVPN access server. To do that, we can do that through three ways, but I'll be using a unique way. But before I do that, I'm right now on the AWS EC2 console. We can launch the access server for OpenVPN by clicking here, Launch Instances. And we will go to Browse More AMIs. And we can search for OpenVPN. Just enter that. I will go to the Community AMIs. And that should show this particular one. The first one you can select. And I would like to show you the security group configuration. There you go. Everything is all set up. You can see all the rows that it has created for the security group. So this is one way of launching the access server straight from the console. But I want to launch it through a different way, which is straight from the OpenVPN documentation. I'll be providing the link to this documentation in the video link as well. So the last way we can launch the OpenVPN access server is also via our CloudFormation stack. You can read more on that, but this video will be limiting it to launching the access server from this documentation directly. I will click Launch Access Server, and that should redirect me to a new tab. I will click View Purchase Options, and then go ahead to Continue to Configuration. And here you are. Here, what is really important is the region. It will show which region you want to launch this OpenVPN access server in. If you click the drop down, you can see all the AWS multiple regions. You can click the one you want. For me, I'm comfortable launching the access server in the Northern Virginia region. I will continue to launch. And here, I will need to choose the action. For me, I will launch it through EC2. And there you go. That should redirect me to the AWS EC2 console. And this is the launch wizard. The same thing we have over here is what is just redirecting us here. But anyway, okay. What I would like to change here will be, I would like to give it a name tag. Let me give it OpenVPN server. Okay. And I will leave the instance type there. I'll select a key pair. I really don't need it, but I'll select one. I will edit the network settings because I want to change the VPC this access server will be launched in from the default VPC into my custom VPC, the staging VPC. All right. And all of that thing looks good. It will create a new security group and all these rows will be there. So I'll just leave all this on default. And I'll go to the advanced details. What I want to do here is to select the IAM instance profile. I have a IAM role that I've created earlier, and this role is having SSM permissions. The reason is I would like to access this EC2 instance directly from the EC2 console via the session manager. Okay, so every other thing looks good. I will go ahead and click launch instance right here. And that should launch the OpenVPN access server for us. Good. I'll click that. It will open it in another tab. Let me close from here. And the status check says initializing. I will leave it for a few minutes for it to pass the status check, and then we will go ahead to configure all the needed things in this access server. Okay, the OpenVPN access server has now passed the status check. Right now, we'll go ahead to connect. I'll click the connect button right here, and then I'll connect through session manager. Connect. Good. Now, for us to be able to configure this, we need to switch to root. I'll switch to root here. And there you go. You can see all the agreements listed. You can go through if you want to read, but I will just continue to the configuration of this server. Please enter yes to indicate your agreement. I will say yes, we agree. And yeah, please enter for default, yeah, we'll just say yes. Pretty much most of the configuration we'll be doing here will be based on the default configuration. We'll say yes here as well. And okay, here will be yes. Yes as well. Okay, it's asking for the admin web UI if we want to connect through port 943. It's yes. That is already reflecting in the security group that we have been, that was created from the AMI we selected. Okay, now press enter for port 443 for us to connect. Yes, HTTPS. There you go. Okay, client traffic be routed through VPN. We'll leave it on default. Yes. Yes. Okay, and this one's private subnets accessibility. Of course, the reason why we're creating this VPN is for us to have access, a secure access to AWS resources that is launching private subnet, and we'll be doing that with an RDS instance that is launching a private subnet. So yes, do you wish to log in through admin UI OpenVPN? We want that. And so okay, we will leave that so it can generate a password for us. Activation key, we do not have any activation key. It's a free tier we're using. And so it's initializing all the configuration settings, and we will wait a few seconds, and that should do its magic. Okay, there you go. Our OpenVPN access server has been configured. What we need to do right now is to copy some of the important details. I will copy the admin UI, client UI, the OpenVPN username and password. I'll copy that. Let me go ahead and paste that in a notepad. All right. Now, so I will need the admin UI right now. Let me open this in a new tab. Enter. Advance and proceed. Okay. Now, let me grab the OpenVPN username and the password as well. Sign in, and that should take us to this. We want to agree that. And there you go. We are already on the UI for the admin user. And you can see this 2 VPN connections allowed. The reason is because we are using the free tier, and the free tier gives us 2 VPN connections. If you are creating OpenVPN access server for a production ready environment, you want to get activation key because you want more than 2 VPN connections anyway. If you want 10, 20, or any amount you want, you can go get activation key here, paste the activation key right here and activate it. And that will populate right here telling you how many connections you have for this VPN. So what I want to do right now will be to go to the user management, user permissions, and you can see the user we have here, OpenVPN user. This is the admin user having the admin right. So what I want to do is to create a new user that will be accessing the VPN client or OpenVPN client through. So I'll create a new user. I'll give it, there you go, that's the username. And I want to click more settings. The password is needed here. Okay. And scroll all the way down and save settings. All right, everything looks good. And if you go back to the user permissions, you should see that user is now popping up right there. He's not having any admin rights. We don't need that to be given. Okay, now let's grab the admin UI URL. Oh, sorry, the client's UI URL here. Copy that. Let's open in another tab, paste it, and enter. And we will be using the username for the user we just created and the password. And let's sign in. Good. Now we will need to download the OpenVPN client itself. To download the client, you can see that it's giving me a suggestion already. The recommended suggestion based on my operating system, because I am on Windows. That is why it's recommending for me to download it for Windows here. I will click this and that should download or the executable file for me. Once that is done, I will install this OpenVPN client. Good. I will click that so I can install the wizard. More info, run anyway. Next, I accept that. Next, then install. Okay, we'll say yes. That should take a few seconds and everything should be good to go. Should I pause the video? It should just take very few seconds. There you go. It's done. Okay. Now we'll click finish and then agree. Great. You can see that it's already importing the VPN configuration for us here. Now, if it didn't do it for you, what you need to do is just go over here to this plus sign, click it, and then you will paste the client UI URL. Just copy this. All you need to copy is just this and paste it right there. And click next. That should prompt you for password and enter the credentials, and that should be good for you. So for me, I will just go ahead and click this radio button. And after clicking the radio button, I will need to enter the password for this user. And then say OK. Good to go. You can see now that we have successfully connected to the OpenVPN access server, right? And that is exactly what we want to do. Right now, we are going to test the connection of the OpenVPN with an RDS instance that is launched in a private subnet. So I already have an RDS instance here. It's launching a private subnet. If you click that, you will see the subnets in the subnet group. I have 2 subnets in the subnet group. If I open those 2 subnets in a new tab, you can see the route table of those subnet that there is no internet gateway attached to it. That makes it a private subnet. And if I see the second one as well, the route table doesn't have an internet gateway attached to its route table. So good stuff. Okay, but right now what I need to do is I need to modify the security group of the database. I'll open that in a new tab. And if we check the ingress rule, inbound rule right here, you can see that we will need to specify our access from the OpenVPN to be able to access the server that the security group is attached to. Okay, now I will click edit inbound rule. I want to add a new rule for Postgres because the engine of our RDS instance is a PostgreSQL. It's going to be connecting on port 5432. And I will grab so let me go ahead and copy the security group ID for the access server, and then go back to the security group of the database right here. Okay, this one. Okay, now I will right click and just paste it, select that, and save rule. Let me close this so it doesn't confuse us. Yeah, that rule has been saved. And what that does is, if you take a look at the ingress right now, we are saying that PostgreSQL is the type, and the port is 5432. The source is the security group of the OpenVPN security group. So that looks good. And now we are good to go to connect to the RDS instance. We'll be using a client called pgadmin. And let me go over there. Okay, I have it open earlier. Let me click pgadmin. All right, I would like to enlarge this, make it more bold. First thing will be to copy the endpoints here. And let me get the pgadmin hub again. I will right click on the servers and then register, go to server, click that. We need to give it a name. So I can just paste that endpoint here and remove all this. You can pretty much give it any name you want to. You can give it any logical name. I'll go to connections. Let me click out from this connection and then paste the endpoints here. The port 5432, like I said. And I will need the credentials for this RDS instance. The username, I'll paste that here, OpenVPN Magic. And the password, let me grab that. I saved that somewhere on another notepad. Paste that. And I want to save the password. And moment of truth, let's test this connection. Save. There you go. Voila. Connection is happening. You can see that we have successfully connected to the PostgreSQL RDS instance via the OpenVPN tunnel. And this is possible because of the OpenVPN. So I want to do something real quick. Let me bring the OpenVPN. I want to, let me just right click and remove server. I want to remove the server totally. Just remove it. Okay. Remove the server and let us disconnect from the OpenVPN. Confirm that. Let's register the server again. Copy the endpoint. Register the server. Paste this. Just reduce this to OpenVPN database connection. Paste the endpoint. Let's grab the password and the username again. The password first. And the username to complete the credentials. Paste that. And okay, everything looks good just like we did before. Let's save password. And then, okay, I want to bring this right here so you see, and save. We're testing the connection right now. You see, we are having a timeout session. The reason is because we are not connected to the OpenVPN. Without connection to the OpenVPN, we will not be able to access this RDS instance because the instance is launched in a private subnet and it is not readily accessible via the internet. Okay, we are all done here. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. That will go a long way. Thank you so much.